Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you go. You have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost.
resign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. But you walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Good morning. Wake up. Get up. Get up. I tell y'all all the time, ain't no sleeping up in here. Wake that ass up. It is time. Today, what day is it? Oh, Lord. Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? No, they cut my grass yesterday. It's Thursday. See, y'all thought it was time to send me to the home. Nope, not today. Listen, we are here. It is Thursday. And the president, well, Biden, woo! See, listen, I'm so excited to be here. I'm just being silly. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren. Yes, he does know his name at least. And we're here today, first and foremost, fulfilling one of the greatest promises. It's one of my favorites. That one that guarantees us that where two or more of us comes together, doesn't take much. We are in agreement. Amen. We're in agreement. Miracles, spiritual magic, literally. So listen, get on the horn, text somebody, get somebody over here, bless in the manner you want to be blessed, and watch what happens, okay? I'm so happy to be here today. Great show for you coming up. I don't have any announcements except one. Last year, I went to this all-night flea market. See back there over the little TV back there? Look up. See the on-air sign, then you see that face right above that? You know who that is. Mike TV. From Willy Wonka. They have an all-night flea market here in Chicago once a year, and I go every year when they have somebody I like. My husband went and was hanging out with Nellie Olson last year. Anyway, bought her book and everything. So this year, guess who I'm going to meet? Butch Patrick. Eddie Munster. His face will be up there next week, too, if his picture is less than $30. I'm just saying. I like you, Butch, but I don't love you that much. I'm just saying. So listen, I'll be doing that. What are your plans for the weekend? Not much summer left. It's moving fast. A rainy day here in Chicago today. What's it shaping up like in your neck of the woods? Put it in the chat. We want to know where you're watching from. And for all of our friends over on Roku and Amazon Fire and all those, how are you? We love you here at Bathrobe Moments. Listen, I just want to say it is a good day, a great day, a blessed day to be here. What are you going to do today that eases a little suffering somewhere in the world? Think about that. Can I get an amen? There's one. Okay. Well, you guys are looking great. Good morning to all of you. Guess who we have today? We have Dr. Marla. That's how we're going to, Albertie, or is it Albertie? I think it's Albertie. She says something. I see her backstage. She's going to get it right for me when she gets in here. This woman, Lord have mercy, it's good moogly googly. She has a litany of accomplishments under her belt. She's a veteran. She's a researcher. I love this one. Work-life harmonizer. She think I don't know why. I got country right there. She thinks I have no idea why she said harmonizer. Oh, yes, I do know. You know why I know or how I know? Wait a minute. I want to get it exactly right. Certified singing agent. Didn't think I knew about that, did you? Oh, yeah. I've been all up in your cookies. She's a psychologist, but not just any kind. She's an IO, which we're going to explain what that is. I'll tell you now, industrial and organizational psychologist. She holds a PhD. She's an executive coach, and she's a whole lot more. So what we're going to do is just get her in here. She can show you better than I can tell you. And I hear her coming down the hallway now. So put your hearts on the screen, won't you? It's our way of saying welcome, applauding, getting to our feet virtually, because here she comes, Dr. Marla on the way. Good morning, Dr. Marla.
Hello, Dr. Lauren. Oh my goodness, I was just backstage just laughing.
Oh, good. We love to laugh. It's healing.
It is. I love to laugh. It's one
How
of my
are you?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. How are you?
Good, except one thing. I inadvertently bought some organic coffee a couple weeks ago, and they weren't flavored, and I'm used to flavor. So my husband drinks hot chocolate, and he puts all these flavors in them, those horrible ones. I put too much.
Ooh.
To have no calories, it sure is sweet. So anyway, other than that, I'm doing great. So you're in Jacksonville, Florida.
Duval. Yes, we love our county. We love our city. Yes.
Were you born and raised there?
Born and raised. I am a Duvalian. Yes.
A Duvalian. Okay. Now
that's my term. That's my term.
You know how certain regions have certain words that they make their own?
Yep.
I know there's some Florida ones because I had family in Fort Lauderdale. They're up here now in the Midwest. But I remember when we visited as a kid, I'd ask my mom, what'd they say? You know what I mean? So what's one Floridian word that you know belongs to y'all?
Oh, Lord. It's so many of them.
Is there? Are there? Really?
I mean, we have our own slang. So like example, like one of my girlfriends pointed out to me one time when I was talking, I would say, I'm going to the car. And she's like, Marla, are you saying car? I said, she kept saying, I said car.
Oh, CAH.
She said, and I said, yeah, I'm saying I'm going to the car. I'm going to get in my car.
Well, if you don't get out that car.
Get out the car. Okay. She said, no, are you saying car? I said, well, car.
Oh, yeah, there it was.
Car.
See, because you're one of those people, for my African American friends, you know what I'm talking about. It used to amaze me when I was a little boy how my mom would be like, she'd be like, and one more thing, bring your ass out of that room one more time while you on a timeout, and I'm a 10. Ooh, hello. She could turn to a white voice just like that.
My friends pick on me for that.
I'm gonna say you masterful.
I have different voices at different times. Yes, I do. I really do. Mm-hmm.
See? Well, you know, that can be advantageous when they don't see you, and you know how that is. I used to get around a lot of work, use that as a workaround lots of times back in the day. So let's get started. I'm gonna tell you what I like to do. I like to pop off for about 60 seconds, let you have the stage. Just pour into everybody. Tell them the things that I didn't mention or fill in a little more on the ones I did. Basically, create your own vibe. Pour into, speak from the heart, and then I'll come back in after 60 and we'll get started.
Yes, definitely. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Lauren, for having me here. Yes, like he said, I am Dr. Marla J. Albertie. Yes, he pronounced it right the first time, Albertie. Born and raised right here in Jacksonville, Florida. I am everything he said. IO psychologist, researcher, lover of cruising. Didn't mention the important thing. Got to mention the cruising. So 22 cruises booked, been on, got 23 coming up here soon. I have my own nonprofit, IO for Teens. We'll probably dig more into that. IO stands for Industrial Organizational Psychology, which is the study of human behavior in the workplace. We'll talk more about that. I have my own coaching and training consulting business, True Speaks Group, where I help the 9-to-5 working woman discover work-life harmony, not work-life balance. I am my own client. I've been teaching, training, coaching, developing people for a long time. Been doing this a long time and doing this alongside working a full 9-to-5 as well, but fully engulfed in teaching, training, and educating right now. I'm also an adjunct professor teaching at different universities. So quite busy in the community, doing a lot of things. And yes, I have time for my life. Yes, I have time to do fun things. And at the same time, I always tell my clients, I'm still me. I'm still a work in progress. So I think that's why I'm able to gravitate towards people, and people are able to gravitate towards me.
Nicely done. Nicely done. So I wasn't gonna, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's number 4 on my list, cruiser. So I didn't know that meant you get in a drop top and be going down the center of town on Saturday nights. You know how they line up the cars in some places.
Yes.
I didn't know if that meant you were at the mall with your girlfriends cruising for your next, I didn't know what it meant. But so you're talking about on the boats.
Yes, cruising on the cruise ship. Mm-hmm.
You don't get seasick?
No, I have when I first started. Yes, when I first started cruising,
they say that's horrible.
I used to get seasick, but now I don't get seasick at all. Mm-mm.
You don't have to take Dramamine or nothing.
Mm-mm. I do bring it with me, but I don't get seasick.
What's your most favorite place that you've taken?
Oh, I get asked that a lot. Oh God, I had a good time in believe it or not, Labadee, Haiti. That is a port from Royal Caribbean. And let's see, Cozumel is fun.
Cozumel, I've been there.
And I'm trying to remember where I did the snorkeling at. I don't remember where I did the snorkeling. But I was sorry for that. But I
Yeah, I'll
did
see how she did that,
forgot where
right?
that was.
I'd have been to so many places. I don't even
Yeah.
remember where that snorkeling. I've been in all the waters.
Yeah, I forgot what the snorkeling was. Ochos Rios was cool too.
Jamaica.
Yes.
Yep. So let me ask you, have you ever been, I hear good things about the Alaska cruise.
I have not done. I had one booked. I had to reschedule it, but I've had a few friends of mine have gone on Alaskan cruises, and
what they say?
They love it. One of my close girlfriends just did one, and
they say it's just
breathtaking. Excellent things, nothing but great things
about the majestic views and the beauty.
I haven't heard one bad thing about an Alaskan cruise.
I might have to try that one.
Yeah, okay. we got to go on an Alaskan cruise, Dr. Lauren. We got to go on an Alaskan cruise.
Okay, now you see, everybody, I'm very excited. Y'all know that I am. Where's my little flag? That I'm a veteran from the USAF. The only let's just say one of the best branches. And you are from the Air Force too, right?
No.
Where are you from?
The Navy.
Okay, bye-bye. I heard a rumor she was from the Navy. I didn't believe it. Of all the unmitigated gall. I'm kidding. Welcome back. I'm kidding. I do that every time somebody's not Air Force.
I know.
I just had to do that. Sorry. But thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
And what kind of work did you do in the military?
So that's where I got my supervisor and leadership experience at the tender age of 19. Now, back then, they had what we call a ship store supervisor. So I was an SH. And SH is what we were in control of. We had multiple jobs. So we were over the ship store. I was fortunate to be stationed on a carrier, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, which, believe it or not, is still rolling. I can't believe that.
Well, no wonder you like cruises.
It's still going. I was on
the water.
Yeah, I was on a carrier. And so we had two stores. We had the Ike Mall, which was our larger store, obviously, and we had the convenience store. I was the ship store manager, supervisor over the convenience store. We also were over vending machines. We were over the laundry. We were over dry cleaning, and we were over the barbershop. Back then, they were not sending females to barber school. So I did everything except for the barbershop. So it was pretty... I was pretty fortunate to be able to have leadership at such a tender age of 19.
Well, not just any kind of leadership either. It's like you're so that's like a city on water, a floating city. Yeah. So you had all those things on the ship?
Well, yeah, so we had we had the Ike Mall and the convenience store, and we had dry cleaning, laundry, we had barbershop. All of that was vending machines. Everything was on the ship. Yeah,
how many people were on that boat?
When you're deployed, it was upwards of 3,000 back then.
On one ship?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they had rooms for y'all to sleep in. What?
We had the squadrons on there and everything. Mm-hmm.
It's that large?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the ships that are coming, because you remember the Eisenhower was older CVN 69. We're up to CVN 76 now. So wow, it's an older ship. So yeah, I think the ships that are out now can hold even more. I think they can hold up to 5,000. Yeah.
5,000 people out there
defending our country. Yes. Yes. And the battle group for Eisenhower is still deployed. Here we are 30 years later.
How many years did you serve?
I served almost 3.5.
Do you miss it sometimes?
I do. I don't.
Every now and then, I know I do too.
I don't miss doing duty. I'm gonna tell you that.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, things happened in the military. Things happen, but I don't miss doing duty. But I do miss some things about
there were the things that really mattered. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm service connected because of some bullshit.
Right, right. Service connected as well. Working on getting to the 100%.
Me too. I'm in Washington right now. Been sitting there for 2 years waiting on that judgment.
But yeah, so there are some things that I still suffer with to this day. But
that's right.
With that being said, there are things that I miss, and I still have lifelong friendships from that.
You're the perfect person for me to ask this question to, because I was just talking about this the other day, and I really think it needs to happen. Okay, you're perfect for this. You might be the one to make it happen.
Okay.
I say all the time, recruiters, because that dirty dog that got me. I'm not kidding. I wasn't even trying to go to the military. I was waiting on the show to start at the theater.
They get you every time.
Yeah, I bought my ticket an hour early for the show across the street at the Ready Theater in Niles, Michigan. I said, well, what am I going to do for an hour? And then I looked over there, and then in the window it said, "Watch a free video, aim high." 2 days later, I was in Indianapolis with my hand in the air. Right. So, but one of the best decisions I ever make. But here's the question.
Yeah.
I really believe that that the military recruiters across the board, it should be mandatory that they present to these young people going in, tender, like you said, 18 on. They should bring in the piece about PTSD, the possibility, because they don't have any idea what they're signing up for in many cases. And as we both attest, you come out with things you cannot shake.
It is real. It is very real.
And that's the workplace where it happens. So, because that's your job 24/7 when you're in there. So how do you feel about that? Do you think they at least need to put it out there to people so they're not blindsided?
Yeah, no, I agree. So I'm not sure how the MEPS is the military interest processing system. So I'm not sure how MEPS is done now currently. I know back then we would go through, you get your job and all that. I think that would be a perfect opportunity for MEPS. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Antoine.
That'd be a perfect opportunity for them to mention that in MEPS and talk about that. Maybe go through some type of mental health seminar, webinar during the MEPS processing, saying, hey,
exactly.
Here's what you can possibly run into. Here's some stories. Here are some war stories. Not to scare them, but to let them know this is what is possible because it's real. And PTSD doesn't always show up right away.
No.
Right? It doesn't show up just because, it doesn't show up. You may do your 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, however long you serve. And it might not show up till 20, 30 years later. So,
I really think that needs to be included as full disclosure.
It should be included in MEPS.
You're the perfect person to get that done.
I think so. But
there we go.
Look, let me tell you what my therapist told me one time before. Marla, take your cape off. It has holes in it. You can't save everybody.
Sure can't. Ain't that the truth? I'm gonna ring the bell. Okay, let's talk about so wait a minute, you sing?
No, that was signing agent. I'm a signing agent. Now I sing good in the shower. I sing good in the car. You can't tell me I can't sing in the car now.
Wait a minute.
Signing agent.
Oh Lord. You know what? I'm glad my husband didn't see this. I gotta erase this because he would have put, I know he keeps a log where he puts in stuff like this so he can, when it come time to go to court, to put me in the home. You know what I'm saying? For instance, August, right? Oh, you're a signing agent. What kind of signing agent? Like for athletes?
No, I'm a notary. So yeah, that's one of my 15 side jobs.
Girl, you sure you ain't Jamaican? I'm just playing. You know how they used to make that before? Remember how they used to do that? Like they keep a lot of jobs now. Just say,
I've been a notary for years now. I don't know, it's probably over 10 years. I've been a notary for a long time. I
remember when you got the little kit and all that stuff.
Yeah, I have everything. Got everything.
Okay, well there you go.
As needed. That's as they come in, you grab them. That's not a main thing.
Right. But it's convenience. It's to be there to be. I always loved it.
Like people, I get them. I may do a year. I probably do maybe 10 signings a year, if that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's go into this. Let's go into the industrial, the IO.
Yes.
Industrial organizational. Mm-hmm. So when they came up with that as a thing,
right?
What talk about how those two go together? Industrial, you know what I mean? That's the program. That's what your degree is in,
right?
So it's 2 lanes, not the other lanes. How come what you do doesn't work everywhere, or does it?
That is a perfect question because I thought the same thing when I first heard it. I had never even heard of industrial. Let me just tell the story of how I even discovered what it was. So
tell it.
I knew I wanted to discover and research behavior in the workplace. I wanted to understand how people were treated in the workplace, why they acted a certain way. I didn't know there was a science behind it. I didn't know a science even existed. So one day I came home to my friend Google and typed in multiple words. I knew training and development existed. I'm a certified trainer, been in training and development over 20 plus years. I knew coaching existed, been doing coaching a long time. So I typed in coaching, training and development, HR. I typed in all these things in Google. and up popped this thing called IO psychology. I said, what the heck is that? So I started researching, and it says, oh, it's the study of human behavior in the workplace. So I go to APA, the American Psychological Association, to see, is this a real thing? Is this real? Is this
right?
That is recognized by the APA? Because, you know, if it's not recognized by them, it don't matter, right? But yes, it's recognized by the APA, and it's a real science. So I started doing more research and found that people have been doing this for years, back in the 1960s, 70s, 40s. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's real. So that's one hint that I tell a lot of clients when I'm coaching: know what you want and then go look for it. Don't let Indeed or ZipRecruiter tell you what you want. You go know what you want. I knew I wanted to study workplace behavior, so I went out there and found it. I didn't know it had a title to it, and that's how I discovered it. Now, should it be called something else?
Yeah.
Like workplace psychology, personnel psychology, should it be called something else? Industrial organizational psychology, that is the weirdest name, but that name came from the olden days, the 1940s, back in the 1920s, back in the day when that's what everything was. Remember the industrial area? We may not remember.
There or here. There weren't a lot of options.
Right, the industrial era. They didn't really have an option. So the industrial era was the working era. So that's where that title came from. And as we modernize things, organizational came into play. So your industrial side is more of that working side, that recruitment side, the talent organization side, the getting people on board side, the onboarding side, where your organization side is your well-being, your softer side, your soft skills side, your HR practices side. And so under this particular science, there's 26 specialization areas. And so you'll have at any point in time, any IO psychologist will specialize in 4 to 5 specialization areas, but we all dabble in a lot of different areas. Example, my specialization areas are workplace well-being and harmony, right? Workplace, work-life harmony integration, coaching, career development, leadership and development, training and development. Those are where I specialize in. But I'm also certified in assessment. So I know how to do a Hogan assessment, OPQ assessments, very well adapted with Myers-Briggs and different types of assessments. You'll find that a lot of IO psychologists study trends. So the most popular question I get all the time is, well, Marla, what's the difference between IO psychology and human resources? Great question. You'll find that a lot of IO psychologists, we sit in HR and we don't always have a title of IO psychologist. It may be HR manager. It may be compensation analyst.
Yeah.
It may be payroll specialist. Okay. But here's the huge difference. I like to do compensation, for example. Your compensation analyst, they're going to pay you. That's what they're going to do. They're going to pay you. That'll be it, right? But the IO psychology side of that compensation analyst, they're going to research the trends of other organizations and other places of how that pay came to be or how you came to get that bonus. So when organizations pay you, they don't just pay you. They have to do a workplace analysis. They have to do a job analysis. That's a huge thing in IO psychology. Job analyses, recruitment. They have to do recruitment analysis. So that's where the IO psychology part comes into play. Where does this come into play for teenagers? If teenagers understand the science of what goes into getting a job, what it takes to keep the job, what it takes to maintain on the job, they will be mind blown. They'll be successful. That's what we're teaching in my nonprofit is IO for Teens. We're breaking down those 26 specialization areas, putting them into 5 classifications, which are discover your dream, chase your dream, living up to your potential, don't get caught up in different places, different faces. We put them into those 5 classifications and they get a certification after each one. And they take that and say, hey, you know what? I know something about IO psychology. So they put that on their college application or even job application. That company's going to be like, oh, wow, you know something about IO psychology?
Yeah. Where you been? Right. Who you been talking to?
Exactly. So now they know a little something. Right. So yes, I gave a big spiel there, but it's a fascinating field. And the thing about it is that field relatively,
it feels like it's still in its infancy.
So here's the thing. It's not new, but it's new.
Yeah, it's both. But is it a slim field? Like when you go to conferences and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as big as SHRM, Society of Human Resources. It's not as big as SHRM, but we're getting there. We're growing, especially in the African American community. So here's a prime example. You have SIOP, so Society of Industrial Organizational Psychologists, SIOP. Look it up online.
Okay.
You have the SIOP conference, happens every year. Then you have BIOP, Blacks in IO Psychology. I'm a part of them.
Oh, yay.
They just started their annual conference. I submitted to speak for them next year. So hopefully I'll be speaking for them next year.
We claim it.
Yes. And then we have FIOP, Florida Industrial Organizational Psychologists. And I'm on the board for the Florida IO Psychologists.
Oh, yeah, you in. You gonna keynote. That's it.
I'm on the board for FIOP. So you have PSYOP, BIOP, and FIOP. So we're growing, we're getting there. And we're and for the longest time, it was a white male dominated field. But now,
as most things began,
yes, more and more women are getting involved, and more African American and BIPOC and women of color are getting involved as well. We have Hispanics, Latinos, we have, I think it's called LIOP, Latinas and IO psychology. We have Asians, AOP, and IO.
Oh, one for everything.
Yeah, so we're growing. So yeah, it's still growing. And here's a fun fact: a lot of people don't know the movie Cheaper by the Dozen. That movie was based off of the parents. So the parents, the children wrote that story about their parents. The parents were IO psychologists.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
the parents were IO psychologists.
So let me ask you something about this work. When a person does what you do, and let's say a corporation brings you in, do they have a person like you on staff, or are you called in as like a consultant? Yeah. And part two of the question is, when you're inside the hive, if you will, are you working with all of the bees? You see what I mean? The queen as well as the workers?
Okay.
Or how does that work?
So the first question, both. Yes. So you can come in as a consultant. A lot of companies bring in their own consultants. And yes, part two of that, yes, you can be an IO psychologist on payroll, on employed. So, for example, like Google has their own team of IO psychologists sitting over here doing research all day long.
I bet they do, because culture was always a big thing for them.
All day long. But a smaller company may not be able to afford that. So that smaller company, like I mentioned earlier, may have their IO psychologists sitting in HR, or they may be titled something else. A lot of companies do it that way. Okay. So that's part one of that question. Part two is, it depends on what the scope of the project is. It depends on what they're asking for. So you may work with the leadership team, depending on what your specialty is. Because remember, each IO psychologist specializes in different areas. So depending on what your specialty is and what they're calling you, and they could be calling you in for HR compliance. They could be calling you in for talent development. They can be calling you in for a testing and assessment. Testing and assessment makes up about 40% of what IO psychologists do.
Let me ask you something right there, because my husband is a therapist, and excuse me, and he has different organizations, not just veterans and things, but companies that and courts who send people to him, or else, because a lot of companies will say, you're going to go to this therapist or you're not going to be here. Like last stop thing before, you know, like when they send kids to the bad school, you know, last chance. So what I'm asking is, and another two-part ADHD, I have lots, I can't stick to one thing. So, but we also have a good friend, hi, Joy Turner, who is HR director of a huge company. And whenever she's here, she's one of our besties. She has to come sit on our deck to decompress because she says she feels like her office is everyone thinks HR is just hiring and firing.
No.
She goes, I hear everything, every complaint, every bullying thing. They bring everything, even their stuff from at home.
Right.
She says she hears. So how closely do you work with HR specialists? Because it seems like they should have to take some of the classes you had to take.
Yeah, no, HR. So IO psychologists and HR, we're like this.
I would say, okay.
Because everything we do is intertwined with HR. Everything we do. So Yeah, so we can't be separated from HR. We have to be in the mix. And like that's how I was saying. So a lot of times you are practicing IO psychologist stuff, but your title is something else.
Oh, so they don't always call it that.
Yeah. So like your friend you just mentioned, HR,
Joy.
she's an HR director, but I'm 9 out of 10 times I'm pretty sure she's doing IO psychology work. I'm almost positive she's doing IO
That's
psychology.
heavy.
I'm sorry.
That's heavy. That person has to hold a lot of space.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about it. A lot of people, you're doing IO psychology work. Most people are doing IO psychology work and don't realize it.
Can I ask you this? When you're working with a large organization, and let's say they bring you in because there's toxicity or infighting or whatever, something's moving. Sometimes I've had colleges, universities call me to come speak when they changing of the guards because the faculty that have been there for years don't like this new person, and they're in there starting rumors and I ain't doing it, you know, or whatever. I'm not getting with it. When you are working inside of a larger organization, do you see a difference when you're speaking to the employees of let's say the majority, Caucasian, if that is the majority, opposed to the minorities? Do they come with different needs? Always. You know what I'm saying? Inside the organization?
Always.
So you have to change your hat. Yeah. Depending on who's sitting in front of you.
Always. There's always going to be, because humans are dynamic. Right? We're unique. So we're going to always have different viewpoints, right? So we see the world how we see it through our own rose-colored glasses. So yeah, so change management is a part of IO psychology, and it's a huge part of IO psychology. And change management is hard. Change is hard. People don't like change. Even though we need change to keep developing and growing as a whole society, people don't like change. So prime example you just gave, when you bring on a new leader, when you bring on a new manager, or you change a role,
or the way their job
or goes, policy, or you know, or laying off, or whatever, however, change is needed. So you have to learn to adapt and understand the why. And the first person that needs to understand that is the leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So that's why leadership is so important. That's why you'll find a lot of organizations spending a lot of time and money and investment on leadership development and leadership training, because if the leader doesn't buy in, the followers aren't going to buy in.
Okay, what about this one? How much of the problem, and this is, let's say generally speaking, how much of the root problem is attached to some form of fear?
Oh gosh,
I know. Wasn't that a good one?
Oh, that's majority of that. That is the problem.
I know.
We're always fearful of the unknown. That's just human development. That's just, we're gonna take away the IO. Let's just go with basic psychology, right? That's just basic psychology. Fear. We have innate fear in us. We learn fear. We're not born with fear, right? But we learn fear as we get older.
We learn fear.
Yeah, fear is learned.
Wow.
Yeah. So with that being said, yes, we always fear the unknown. That's why we want to know right now what's happening right now. We want to know what's going on. We have to understand the steps. Like us being military, right? We're systematic. A1, 2, 3, A, B, C. We know the steps. You know, we know what's going on. If we don't know, we're lost. We're confused, right? That's fear. Right? We have to learn to trust the process. And that's something I struggle with. I struggle with it daily, learning to trust the process, learning to grow. So that is a huge part of it, because people don't know what that new, let's say a new leader is coming on board. They don't know that new leader is going to come on board and say, is that new leader going to cut
Or
down?
I heard a rumor.
Exactly. That new leader I heard that at his last job, he cut a lot of roles. He did this, he or she or they did that, you know? So that fear plays, the fear is always the foundation. So again, that leader at the top, that leadership team who has already bought in, it's their job to come in and say, hey, here's how I'm feeling too. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it down to a level to where we can understand and talk about this together.
Now, what about people like myself and a lot of you out there? I speak for you as well. What I'm getting at is the entrepreneur / solopreneur. How different is it for us? Because see, a lot of us are sitting here going, boy, I'm glad I don't work in corporate no more or whatever, you know. But some of the same issues. We have fears every day, daily.
Every day.
So do you have any books?
Oh yes, I have two. I have two books.
Okay, make sure we come. What are they?
Yeah, so I have my. We'll have them right here.
I just happen to have one right here.
I just happen to have them right here. So my first book is 52 Career Tips, Action Steps to Move You Forward. This is a journal. Both my books are journals.
One tip for every week.
Yes, this is it. There you go. Look at you.
I know, and I went to public school.
Ting, ting, ting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is exactly what it is. One tip for every week.
Give us a couple. Give us a couple of those.
Oh, sure, definitely. So I'm looking at week. This is week 17 here. There is not a shortage of jobs; it's a shortage of people with skills.
I'm definitely
and that's still correct
today.
Look, I wrote this in 2017, and that's still correct. The original version of 2014, so that's still correct. Another one. Listen. I went to week 29. Do not become stagnant in your career. I preach and teach that all the time. Continue to learn and grow in your career. You know, don't just I mean, so many people are just waiting for retirement. Well, while you're waiting on retirement, what are you doing? You got to do.
We
something.
don't even allow that word in this house. Did you know, Dr. Marla? Did you know that a large percentage of people who profess out of their mouth and use this terminology, retire, have the parties and all that, die within the first 6 years?
Yeah, I know.
So I'm not trying to retire. I'm seeking financial independence.
I am going to die teaching, training, and educating.
Exactly. Financial independence, you guys. Replace retirement with that.
Exactly. That's it. That's it.
So
I call myself the cruising professor. I'm going to be on the back of the Lido deck, on the Serenity deck somewhere, grading papers.
See, there you go. Exactly right. Keep going. Now,
and I wanted to mention the next book. The next book is the Ultimate Brag Book: 100 Questions About How Awesome You Are. So
that one I like.
So this
I like the other one too, but this one I really like. Who doesn't? You get to talk about yourself.
Yeah, this one I wrote because as a coach, one question. If you're going to coach with me, I'm going to ask you a question. I ask all my clients this question. I say, put down a list. If you remove all obstacles, remove money, family, kids, spouse, whatever, write down everything you would do. Write it down. And you know how many people, but not 95% of my clients are women. I have coached men, but 95% of these women cannot write down that list. They struggle with that list. And to me, that was a shocker.
Why do you think
that is? A ton of stuff that I want.
Why do you think that is? Because they put themselves
last. See, everybody else is first. So that's why. So you know what? You deserve to brag on yourself.
Yes, and I agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%. I tell people all the time.
Yes.
What I do is, and it's not a selfish move, because you can't pour from an empty cup. It is not my cup runneth out, is my cup runneth over. So I have to take, if let's say what I have for the world or the people I serve is a big old Sakatumi cake. I got to cut a sliver at least and put it up. You know how your mom and them used to take stuff and put up, don't nobody touch this. This is mine. I put it up. Eat all of the rest, but touch mine and see what happened. Right. You have to do that.
Yeah.
So you're not left one day, you look down and there's nothing on the plate but a bunch of crumbs.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, continuing education. I want to ask you this. Your profession, what was it like? Because I know you have to get those continuing education credits like all the other licensed/certified professionals. Post-COVID, did you see a difference in what they were bringing to the table every year after COVID? Because the mindset and everything from no more, a lot of people aren't in brick and mortar anymore. They're remote. Is it a lot different for a person like you post-COVID as opposed to prior?
Honestly, it grew. I mean, education-wise, online opportunities and chances, all that grew because we couldn't go in person, right? So everything online was there. Everything for us was right there. So for me, being able to teach, train, educate, the opportunities were abundant. You know, for me to get the classes or for me to get the courses that I wanted to take.
I mean, the people you serve.
Oh yeah.
Was it more challenging after?
No, I still was able to get clients.
But their mindset though, did they have more shit on their plate?
Oh, well, yes, during that time. Oh yeah, during that time frame. Because you got to think COVID during that time frame, it was heavy. That was heavy on the brain. And it still is to this day.
Well, because of desocialization. I don't know if that's the real word.
It was one of the worst times for mental illness. This is why mental illness is coming out so much right now. And
it makes people face their mental state.
Yeah, exactly. It probably needed to happen. Everything happens for a reason. So this needed to happen. Not saying COVID needed to happen, but this needed to happen. We need to bring a light to mental awareness. We really do.
So and the thing I'm so grateful, one of the things to the COVID pandemic for is that it took a lot of the shame off of speaking about your mental state, because now everybody experienced it. So that splinter that we couldn't get out, now enough of it was pushed out for us to have a way to pull it out the rest of the way. And I think that's a true blessing.
Exactly. And it's still, and some folks, especially in the African American community, are still still struggling with that, especially the African American male. So I
talk on that for a second. What do you mean?
It's okay to not be okay. And it's
I see. Yeah. The stigma and all that.
Yeah, it's okay to talk about it. So get the therapy, get the help. And I'm talking about get a licensed therapist, someone who went to school for it. Okay.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. Someone who went to school for it.
And let's go there for a second.
Local neighborhood, not the local neighborhood church therapist.
Right. Don't go sit at Miss Geneva's house. Right. Now let's talk about that part, because you happen to hold both of those. You're a coach, executive coach, but you're also a licensed therapist.
No, I'm not. I'm
not a therapist. What are you?
I'm not a licensed therapist. No.
What are you?
So I'm a certified coach.
Coach.
And then I'm an IO psychologist. However, I'm a IO psychologist. However, though, in the field of my particular field, APA, American Psychological Association, we are the only field that we do not have to be clinically licensed.
Wow, I'm glad that came out wrong. We
don't. So the reason we say this, because I am not diagnosing personal behavior.
Oh,
right. I'm not sitting on a couch but if I go in the workplace, I diagnose workplace behavior. Does that make sense? But I don't have a private office where you come into me, I'm sitting you on the couch and we're talking. No, I'm going into the office, or IO psychologists sit in the office and we diagnose workplace behavior and trends. That's what now, does that mean that I could go on and get my clinical license? Of course, IO psychologists can do that. Matter of fact, some states require you to do that, to be called an IO psychologist. Florida is one of the states that does not require you to do that. So I can call myself an IO psychologist in the state of Florida.
When you go into a workplace to do your thing, do they let the employees know you're coming? Because I can see people looking at you like, there she is. That's the one. They said she was coming. Don't tell her nothing. You know what I mean? Get you fired. Be here to get rid of us.
The past organizations I have worked with before, when I've done the consulting, I have encouraged them to let because I've done it's mainly been leadership development. I've encouraged them to let their leaders know that nothing should be a surprise.
So should the employees, should they be afraid of you?
No. You shouldn't be afraid.
You're not there to get rid of them. You're there to make it better for them.
Exactly. And again, that's why leadership is so important. The leader should not be putting fear into anyone of their.
So how much of your job being executed successfully is based on how you are baptized into that particular culture? Like, I would think if it were me and I say I had 40 people, I would want to stand you in front of them and explain why Dr. Marla's here, So she's going to be here all week. And she's going to talk to all of you, or as many of you as she can, and no, it's not to get rid of people. Do they have that formal indoctrination? Because people don't know what IO is.
Right.
And if you're inside, they could think, they just saying that they getting ready to lay off.
And well, you got to remember, so when we're introduced, we're not introduced. We can say, yes, our title is IO psychologist, but we're really introduced for that, wherever that specialty need is that we're called in there for. So if we're called in for job analysis, that's what we're there for. We're there to do job analysis. So we're not there to say,
what is that?
Job analysis is to review the jobs, to say, okay, here are the specialty needs that we need for this particular job analysis to create the job description. So I will work directly with the recruitment team. You see what I'm saying? So
So
we won't
if it's,
come
let's say it's an automotive company.
okay.
Don't you have to know a lot about the automotive world in order to do that?
Well, again, it depends on. So that's why you go with. That's why the consultation on the consultative side. That's why you have to know what their need is. That's why you have to do the initial upfront consultation analysis first to see what their need is first, to see where, because workplace behavior is workplace behavior, regardless if they're at a automotive place or at Walmart.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay.
People act. They act. Right. So where is the problem at here? We come in to solve problems. Right. So where's the problem at? I don't have to. I always say it like this. I can coach on anything. I can coach on marriage stuff. I can coach on automotive stuff. Because a coach is a coach is a coach, right? Now, what does it help to know a little bit about that industry? Yes. So that's why you get to know that particular team, or that's why I call consultative opportunities last sometimes years. You'll find consultants working with companies 2-3 years because
I would imagine so.
They're working to learn that. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but again, it depends on what that, because there's no IO consultant that can come in and just take over and do everything. You have to come in and work on a specific problem. So if it's workplace behavior in the, like to say in the, I don't know, the automotive line, let's say they're working on the assembly line. Okay, what's going on the assembly line? I need to find out every nook and cranny that's going on the assembly line. Let's focus here. And then figure out what do these employees do? What time of day? What are their hours? Where's their job description? I want to go talk to the employees. I want to. What is their job description? What are they expected to do? Are they doing that? What are their hours? Where are their well-being? What is their time frame? So I would come in and ask 30 gazillion questions, but I would be talking to the
because you're trying to get to the root of how each one is feeling.
You got to get to the root cause. You got to get to the root cause.
Okay. Here's the last question. We're almost out of time, but I don't want to leave without addressing this. What about those people or those situations where internally there is a hierarchy, which there is everywhere, but a caste system? Let's say a hotel. Mm-hmm. Because usually the housekeeping people and the laundry people do all the real hard work, that stuff that nobody else wants to do, are, let's say, of Spanish descent. Mm. You know what I mean? Right. Or they're African American. Then you have your mid-management, where now all of a sudden you start seeing less of them and more of something else. Mm-hmm. And then the people in the ivory tower that you never see, you only see their names on memos. You got all these tiers. Mm-hmm. So do you ever have to say, I need to go upstairs and talk to them because I'm hearing from down here that's the problem? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you ever get pushback, resistance from, well, we brought you in here for them. You ain't got nothing to do with us. Leave us alone. Because it's like a monarchy. Right. In a way.
That goes back to everything rises and falls on leadership. I actually did research on that. The hotel is funny you bring up the hotel industry, the hospitality industry. That is huge for that. The hospitality industry is huge for that. One company that has gotten it right, or they're close to getting it right, is Hilton. Hilton is really big on that. Now, no company is perfect, but Hilton is really big on that, and they have made their mark in the industry of treating their employees right. And that's doing what's right by their employees, as far as hierarchy and
fair and equal treatment.
Whether you're at the top, it doesn't matter. Everything rises and falls, so that from the top they go down. They not go down, but they meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
So I did research on that, and I was very highly impressed with how they run their organization. So,
I think that's important for people, the consumers, to know who's making an effort, because I like to spend my money and support.
Yes,
places like that, because it stands out to me.
It made me happy that I'm a Hilton honors person.
Yeah, because I'm on the road a lot, and a lot of us here are. I know you guys are out there, and it never misses me.
Yeah,
when I can see the disparity somewhere within, and so I like to support organizations that support people.
Yes.
Okay. And the reason I want to say this to you guys before we get out of here, why that sort of thing and all of what we've talked about today is important. Whenever we see something that is not fair and equal treatment, don't turn a blind eye. That equates to, in its own little way, buying into human sacrifice.
DE&I is a huge part of IO psychology.
See,
as well.
That's awesome.
DE&I.
we want to do this. We're going to throw your connectors up on the screen.
Yes,
if you want to
please
reach
connect
out
with
to Dr. Marla, there is LinkedIn, and also here is the road to her website. We're going to take the liberty of dropping both of these for you guys for convenience sake at the end of the broadcast directly into the comment section. So you'll be able to go in there and redirect with a click. So final thought. Here's your Jerry Springer moment. If you want to give everybody one thing to remember as we leave, what would it be?
Oh gosh. Run your race. That's something that I'm processing now. It's not anyone else's race. Society's going to expect you to do this, expect you to do that. It's okay. It really is okay to not do what society expects you to do. Now, yes, you need to stop at stop signs. You need to stop at stop lights. Obey them all, right? but run your race. And it may not look like what everyone else's looks like. Your story is your story. And what you want is what you want. You may have a non-traditional path of going to where you're trying to go. It's okay. There's multiple ways to get to California.
That's right. Do you. There it is. Okay. Listen, what an honor. It's been a fantastic hour. It has flown by. We want to invite you back whenever you have something you want to share with us. Please know you have the turnstile invitation, which means you can always reach out. And thank you so much. Great insight today. Great insight. Awesome. Now, you guys get out there today and every day, but today is all we have right now. So today, find a little piece of your higher self. Bring it over to right where you're at. Take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and nice to nicer. Now, I will see you tomorrow, God willing, right over there on the front porch, where together we shall have another illuminated conversation. Now, get out of here. Don't let my screen door slam on the way out. And remember, Dr. Lauren loves you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. See you tomorrow, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Marla. Awesome job. Awesome. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my